film. Not just animation, but movies in general. His name is Goofy. Yeah, how many characters have made the impact that can have been impacted for that matter? Okay, we're going to start with the circle. I'm going to show you guys my special circle drawing method. Put your hand in the air, lock your wrist, lock your elbow, and when you draw a circle, let your shoulder roll around. You'll get a nice smooth circle. Now, his face is here. We're going to have the jowls here, his wide open smile. So here's where my first circle is going to go, right about here. Okay, I'm going to roll my hand around very, very lightly, about 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 times, because I can't draw perfect circles, as you can well see. That's a little on the wonky side. But I've given myself several that I can pick and choose from. Okay, I can pick out enough lines out of that to make a nice circle out of it. And that's what we've got to do. Now we're going to go ahead and put a guideline straight through the middle from top to bottom, just like this. And moms and dads help the kids. Sometimes they have a hard time finding the center of things. So be there for them. Trust me, you're going to have a better time if you're helping those guys out. And we're going to put another guideline going across. Now this one's not going to go right through the middle. It's going to drop down to just above the bottom of our circle. And it's going to go from side to side, just like this. All right. See the space underneath that? That's how far you need to go up with that one. Now that we've got that in place, we're going to draw on his jowls. Okay, he is a dog. I know many of you have heard that he's a cow or some other kind of a creature. Those are lies, vicious lies. Goofy is a dog, okay? Now, we're going to draw in those jowls by putting 2 little watermelons right here underneath that circle. It's like 2 watermelons that are in love and they're coming together to have a secret rendezvous, kissing each other. I know, getting a little racy for Disneyland, aren't you there, Thomas? All right, calm down. Okay, we got that in place. We're going to draw in his nose now. That's going to break up the fun here. It's going to go kind of right here in between those watermelons and kind of up underneath the line here. I'm going to draw in a pretty good sized grape. You know, Goofy's nose is the kind of a nose that if you grabbed onto it and squeezed it would go honk honk. That kind of a nose. So he's got a pretty big schnoz on him. There we go. I'm liking the way that looks. I like the size and placement of it. So this is going to be my first item to lock in. I'm going to go a little harder now, pushing and locking that in, building up a nice dark outline. Once I get that in place, I will go ahead and shade it in. And I'm not going to make it too dark. It's going to be dark enough, but I will really push hard when I get to his eyes. You always want the eyes to be the standout feature. That's pretty nice and dark. Okay. Now, to show that his nose is coming out towards us, because he's got a pretty long snout. Gentleman with his hand up there, Danny. Okay. What did you need, sir? A pencil. On the way. Thank you, Danny. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Let's go ahead, and we're going to put into rainbows, single line rainbows, right over his nose. These are snout lines to show that he's got a long snout and it's coming towards us a little ways. Pluto is a hound dog, and he would have 3 of these. Goofy's got 2. Mickey Mouse has a very little snout, and so he'd only have 1, him and Minnie. Okay, grab onto the end of the top one, and we're going to put a little coffee cup handle that comes over like this and touches the top of the little watermelon there. And likewise over here, these are his cheeks. Okay. Coffee cup handles. You know, like the kind they used to put on coffee cups before Starbucks. There we go. Kids today, they don't even know what a coffee cup handle is. Well, I tell you. Okay, let's go ahead and lock in those jowls. And as we do, I'll tell you a little bit about his history. Dun, 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 dun. He has history, I'm telling you. He started out in 1932. I have to check my thing there. 1932 in an old cartoon called Mickey's Review, in which he was just a side character, this weird-looking kind of hillbilly dog that was watching this terrific show that Mickey and his pals were putting on. He was sitting there munching on peanuts and doing this laugh. Everybody loved him. All right? It was just like, oh my gosh, the best part of the cartoon was that crazy character sitting there watching the show and laughing like that. Walt Disney loved it. He knew a good thing when he saw it. And so he developed that character. Eventually, he would become Goofy. But here's what he looked like in Mickey's review. Check it out. A little bit different, a little bit shaggier, a little more hillbilly-like. Look at the glasses and the lack of buck teeth. Doesn't have the buck teeth yet. All right? So now you know he wasn't always Goofy. He was Dippy Dog when he first started out. But he went on to bigger and greater things before long. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and get this locked in over here. Nice dark. And hopefully pretty even with the one on the other side. Okie doke. Now, his smile. We're going to open his mouth up into a great big, what we call laughing smile to show his joy. And the corners of his smile are going to be coming up right here. Put two little outward curves, little parentheses like that. They're very small. And at the top of them, put another little curved rainbow. Right? That just shows that he's happy and it's pushing up his cheeks. Now, from here, I'm going to grab onto the end of his smile here and bring down a pretty good sized letter U, very light and loose, and bring up the other side to the other corner of his smile there. Okay, so here's his open mouth. His lower lip should be taken from the cheek here. I'm going to bring down another line. Now there's his lower lip, and it's going up to the other one there. This is all very light and loose, just kind of getting it sketched in there. And before we do anything else, the trademark, the buck teeth, okay? A trademark of silly characters like the Mad Hatter, the Marge Hare, Roger Rabbit, Tow Mater. They're all wannabes. They're all Goofy wannabes. It started with this guy right. He's the OG, the original Goofy. I'm going to go ahead. They're as wide as his cheeks here, so you can go like this. Big marshmallow. Right there. Like that. You see, I'm just kind of like using that as measurement. And you make them as wide as those cheeks are, and kind of right underneath them. I'm going to lock those in first. I don't want anything else to get in the way. They're too important. It's just not Goofy without them. Oh, man. Okie doke. Now, I'll lock in his mouth. And since his mouth is wide open, what are we going to see inside? His tongue, of course. All right. Let's get that lip locked in. I always like to add a little curve there, a little chin to it. And now his tongue is going to start over here at this tooth and go down a waterfall. Whee! Grab onto that waterfall and whee, bring it over here. Shade this in lightly, just lightly, to give it a little depth. Now, the next thing, the next trademark of silly characters are eyes that are close together. Beautiful characters, wide set eyes. Silly characters, the eyes are real close together quite often. And in Goofy's case, he is the king of silly, and so his eyes actually melt together in the middle. It was just like having them close together ain't enough for this guy. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start right up against his cheek. I'm gonna bring up a big parenthesis that goes way up high in my original circle, and likewise over here. Okay? There we go. Now, bring it in to the center, and once you touch that line, stop right there. Let's do that. Let's take this one over here. You're just gonna leave them open in the middle. All right, let's go ahead and get this shape locked, that uni eye, all right? Locked in, and then we'll draw in his pupils here. I love Goofy. Man, I can't imagine not loving Goofy or anybody. He has had such a history, too. He's interesting in so many ways in that he is the only one of the most popular Disney characters, which would include Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and Pluto, that has a college degree. Go figure. You know, he's got that. He also has a son. He's the only one with a child, and that child actually ages. What's his son's name? Max. Good on you. Good for you guys. Yes, Max. We see Max getting older from film to film and from TV show to TV show. Okay, there we go. Just these two big ovals right above that top snout line. Gosh. There we go. Let's get those locked in and really darkened in. And then we'll give him some eyebrows. That's easy to do. I'm just going to imitate the curves right there at the top of his eyes. We call this following the steady line. I always like to make them pretty high because that makes him look real surprised, which is good for Goofy because he is always real surprised. He's in a good mood and then everything goes haywire, right? And then it's, whoa! I wish I could do that Goofy scream. Whoa! Thank you. Well, it was, okay. It was a good effort. Good effort. I'll give you points for that. Okie doke. You hear that everywhere, whether Goofy's in it or not. You hear it on the Alice in Wonderland ride. For crying out loud. How did he get in Wonderland? I'm going to go ahead and join the brow to his cheek here. And now we've got sides to his face. He's worn a lot of hats over the years, but for our purposes, 1, 2, 3, and that will do just fine. Now, the ears. Right above his cheeks, put a little earbud. If these were actually earbuds, he'd be listening to Powerline. You guys got that reference? Some of you have seen the Goofy movie.
Yeah, oh, now I get it,
yep. Who have not, go home, it's on Disney Plus. You have homework. Watch the Goofy movie. You'll understand the Powerline reference. Okay, now, the ears. I like to make them big and floppy. Like big outstretched teardrops coming down from that little earbud there. Okay? I like the sillier the better, right? I like to make it look really kind of wobbly and floppy. That's only right for Goofy. There we go. He's such a great character. I especially love the cartoons where you get Mickey, Donald, and Goofy together, right? The clock cleaners, one of my all-time favorites. It's not Halloween without Lonesome Ghosts. And you get to see the three of them, the original Ghostbusters. That's right, Bill Murray, you heard me. They were hunting ghosts long before Bill Murray got there. Alrighty then. We're running a little long on time, so I'm going to end it there. But I will sign this, and I would love to see how your Goofies turned out. 2023. So let's have an art show. I'm going to count to 3 and have everybody hold up their Goofies. Let's see how you did. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Show me those Goofies. OMG. Which stands, by the way, for oh my gosh. These look great. What a man! You guys did fantastic! I love it! Look at the eyes on that Goofy! Kind of a look in his eyes. You guys way up in the back, I see him, I love him. Give yourselves a great big round of applause. Oh my God. Oh, well, I am going to put my goof aside and skedaddle on out of here. I hope you had as much fun drawing Goofy as I did. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thanks for joining us. And till we see you again, this class is dismissed. Bye-bye, everybody.
Give Thomas one more big applause, everyone. Thank you, Thomas. All right, friends, before